This video is to provide information about the country India and its culture. This video also provides educators with tips on how to become a culturally responsive school and to help involve parents in their child's education. India is located in South Asia and is bordered by countries including Pakistan, China, Nepal, and Burma. India is about 1/3 the size of the United States, yet it is the second most populated country. India is the 7th largest country in the world. India's population is roughly 166 million. It is the largest democracy in the world. There are 4 main religions in India. The majority of India practices Hinduism. Hinduism believes in an immense unifying force that governs all existence and cannot be completely known by humanity. Those who practice Hinduism call upon the gods to help with daily problems and hopes. The family I interviewed from India explained that they attend temple daily. Those who practice Hinduism follow the tradition of vegetarianism. Hinduism believes that the cow is a sacred animal. As a result, one is not to consume meat. In India, cows are often seen walking the streets and wearing a Hindu symbol that represents good fortune. There are 3 primary deities of Hinduism. The first is Shiva. He is considered the creator and destroyer. He is thought to destroy the old and create the new. The second deity is Vishnu. Vishnu is the preserver, which represents stability and order. The third deity is Devi. She is considered the protecting mother and is thought to be the creative energy of the universe. She is considered equal with Shiva and Vishnu. Hindi is the national language of India. Approximately 41% of India's population speaks Hindi. Hindi is written in the Devanagari alphabet. This language consists of 33 consonants and 11 vowels. All of the letters are connected by a partial bar at the top. There are approximately 10 different variations, and Khariboli is one of the most important dialects. There are many differences between Hindi and English. Unlike English, Hindi's alphabet is phonetic. This means it is pronounced as it is written, which allows it to be learned more easily. The Hindi alphabet does not consist of uppercase or lowercase letters. Hindi grammar also differs from English grammar. All Hindi nouns are either masculine or feminine. Many adjectives in the Hindi language change due to the gender of the noun. It is also noted that there are no definite or indefinite articles in the Hindi language. Hinduism places a strong role on food in the culture. Since food plays an important role in religion and the food offered to the gods is thought to grant considerable religious merit and purifying the body, mind, and spirit. In Indian cuisine, spices provide taste, aid digestion, and promote good health. A typical meal consists of several preparations, but most often the main meal at lunchtime will consist of rice, sabji, dal, and chapatis. Cow is not consumed due to Hinduism. It is considered a sacred animal, and if it is ingested, one will have bad karma. Traditionally, food is eaten sitting on the floor and without the use of silverware. Indian marriages are almost always prearranged. Parents work together for redistribution of wealth and restructuring social realignments. Personal preference is not taken into consideration. Parents begin marriage arrangements at the time of the birth of the child. In rural communities, pre-puberty marriage for girls traditionally was the rule. In the late 20th century, the age of marriage rose in villages almost to the levels that obtain in cities. Legislation mandating a minimum marriage age has been passed in various forms over the past decades, but such laws have little effect on actual marriage practices. Many parents use their social networks to locate potential brides and grooms of appropriate social and economic status. These marriages are often arranged without the couple meeting. Taboos are very common in the Indian culture. The first is found in the form of communication. A person is to not disrespect an elder, as this creates disharmony in the family or community. Communication is considered an art form, in which a lot of time and effort is put forth. It is not meant to be too personal or use signs of affection as a greeting. This is shown as being too intrusive. You are not to shake hands with a person of the opposite sex as a salutation. This is deemed rude. Feet are also considered unclean, so you are to never point your feet at another person. If you do so, you are expected to apologize whenever your shoes or feet touch another person. The school system in India has 4 levels: lower primary, upper primary, high and higher secondary. Students have to learn a common curriculum largely used until the end of high school. There is some amount of specialization possible at the higher secondary level. In school, students are expected to learn 3 languages: English, Hindi, and their native language. The exception is in regions where Hindi is considered the national language. There are many issues that arise in the Indian education system. Approximately 4% of the Indian population never starts school. Even though this seems like a small percentage, it is approximately 8,000 people. About 10% of those who do attend school actually continue their education and attend college. In the education system, the memorization and speed is deemed important. There is a need for meaningful, engaging content. Despite government's attempts to provide changes in the school systems, there is often resistance from parents. In 2011, the country ranked 63 out of 64 according to the Program for International Student Assessment Study. Approximately 49% of 5th graders were reading on a 2nd grade reading level. The country struggles with academic outcomes due to poor teaching quality and lack of resources needed. Family is considered a very important aspect of the Indian culture. The most desired residence is the joint family, ideally consisting of patrilineal related generations, all living under one roof. Large Indian families tend to be flexible for the modern Indian life, and family loyalty is very important. Being part of a large family provides many job opportunities. It is not uncommon to see relatives living very close in proximity. Authoritative roles are clearly defined. Family land or businesses are traditionally controlled by men, whereas the women stay home to raise the children and look after the house. According to Helmer and Eddy, there are many ways you can help your school become more culturally responsive. The first is to be aware. This means you need to become aware of behaviors that might otherwise have escaped you. Without this awareness, misunderstandings between you and your ESL student will occur. Secondly, you need to be helpful but patient. ESL students need a lot of assistance as they begin to learn a new culture and language. You need to remember that your student may be too overwhelmed and forget to ask questions. Helmer and Eddy also recommend acknowledging adjustment issues that may occur. Your acceptance of this may help ease the transitions the student is trying to make. Make sure your expectations are clear. Do not assume anything. Policies relating to class and school may not be familiar for your student. Another idea is to be encouraging. This needs to be in both the forms of verbal and nonverbal. As educators, you also need to take advantage of your student's strengths and interests. Help encourage your student to participate in these aspects. Allowing students to work in pairs or groups can help your student overcome their anxieties. It is also important to welcome the parents into the school and classroom environments. Parents may be reluctant to participate in their child's education for many reasons. These can include lack of proficiency in English, the need of both parents working, younger family members being at home, feeling of having nothing to contribute, or the fact of parents and teachers being partners in education is a foreign concept. However, as educators, you need to have consistent flow of communication with your parents. Provide parents with different resources on how they can become more involved. This could be as simple as in the form of a checklist. Parents sometimes are unsure how to help with homework assignments. Provide useful information and assignments that will promote family participation. Home reading programs are very successful for all students. Reading aloud with an older person enhances reading skills. Last but not least, remember to value the home language. It is important to maintain and strengthen their proficiency in their home language. Encourage the parents to continue to use and develop their child's native language.